लागि Singlama, and these are the headlines of the hour. Nepal struggles managing university graduates as job opportunities decline. Educational system faces crisis amidst shrinking job market. Non-legislative work stalls in provinces as law remain unfinished. Government struggle to start sessions amid unresolved bills and committees. The former Indian Prime Minister, whose death sparked outpourings of grief, cremated on the banks of Yamuna River, New Delhi, with full state honours. And Jeevan Ram Shrestha re-elected as chair of the Olympic Committee for a third term despite court ruling and government directives. Welcome back. The 6.5-decade-old Tribhuvan University has graduated 14,000 students today. This year, 74,000 students passed out from various levels of the university, but only 14,000 participated in the 50th convocation ceremony. While the unemployment problem in the country is increasing, a large number of higher education students are worried about their future. There is a concern that the graduated students who have desire to do something in the country won't get the opportunity. This year, Sangeeta Prajapati, who won the Convocation Medal as the top female graduate of the Faculty of Education, vowed to use the knowledge and skills she had acquired. Expressing concern that quality of education, which is considered the backbone of development, is deteriorating, Prajapati said that she would choose the teaching profession. Revika Bhandari, who succeeded to become topper at the postgraduate level towards Master of Business Studies of the Faculty of Management, has also made a plan to stay in the country and work for the development of the nation. Likewise, Pratikraj Joshi, who has the best in Master of Arts International Relations and won a gold medal, also said that he will look for the same opportunity instead of leaving for abroad.
Gold medal आफ्नो स्किलहरु युज गरेर चाहिँ आफ्नो नेपाल सरकारको लागि आफ्नो लागि देशको लागि काम गर्ने भन्ने प्लान छ. हाम्रो सेक्टर भनेको सोशल साइन्स सेक्टर हो. सोशल साइन्समा बरु एक किसिमले यहाँ अलिअलि छ भनौं, तर इन्जिनियरिङ सेक्टर जसले चाहिँ बढी आस्क गर्छन् देशबाट, जसलाई चाहिँ बढी स्किल चाहिन्छ, त्यस्तो लागि अझ बढी वर्क गर्नुपर्छ गभर्नमेन्टले जस्तो लाग्छ.
In the program, Premier KP Sharma Oli and Education Minister Vidya Bhattrai stated that the manpower produced by the universities should be made capable of facing the existing challenges. The country's first and largest Tribhuvan University faces many challenges. The major challenge for the university is to create a time-relevant curriculum and a new educational program to connect students with skills and employment. However, the university emphasizes that due to the interference and politics in the education sector, obstacles are being created in the reform efforts.
जसरी हामी मन्दिरमा पुग्दा एउटा भाव प्रकट गर्छौं, त्यस्तै विद्यालय, विश्वविद्यालय, महाविद्यालय जहाँ पुग्दाखेरि पनि विद्याको मन्दिरमा पुग्दा त्यस प्रकारको भाव हामीमा जाग्नुपर्छ. त्यो भावका साथ हामीले काम गर्नुपर्छ. हाम्रो समाज एउटा सभ्य समाज हो. यतापट्टि सबैको ध्यान जाओस् भन्ने पनि म आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु.
विश्वविद्यालयका स्नातक उपाधि प्राप्त गरेका विद्यार्थीहरूसँग व्यावहारिक ज्ञान र रोजगारीका अवसरहरूको अभाव छ.
Various departments of Tribhuvan University are in the grip of a strike. While the convocation ceremony was held at Dasrat Stadium in Kathmandu, there is an urgent need to resolve the issues of the university and free the university from political interference and stop the students from leaving for abroad. It is the state's responsibility to provide opportunities to the public. However, despite hundreds of qualified individuals entering the job market each year, the government and private sector have both failed to accommodate fresh graduates. Majority of the qualified youth are compelled to go abroad at the lack of opportunities back home. Over 14,000 students from Tribhuvan University were welcomed at Dasrat Stadium, Kathmandu on Saturday. Despite their hard work, a common concern among them is the lack of employment opportunities.
Future त अब विदेश नै होला सायद. त्यो त अब पैसा कमाउने हुनु पर्यो नि त, अलिकति केही फ्युचर हुनु पर्यो, केही पनि छैन. त्यही भएर फ्युचर चाहिँ विदेशमै जाने सोचेको छ. नेपालमा अहिलेसम्मलाई केही गरौँ भन्ने चाहिँ छ तर अब फ्युचर हेर्दाखेरि खासै केही होला जस्तो पनि छैन.
Not just those who graduated on Saturday, but many youth with higher education are concerned about employment. A University Grants Commission report shows over 125,000 students graduate annually, yet they struggle to find jobs in their field or develop skills for entrepreneurship. According to the data of the Public Service Commission in the last 5 years, around 400,000 youth have given the public service exam. However, there is no account of how many students have repeated the exams. The age limit for women is 40 years, whereas for men it is 32 years. Public service exams range from civil service clerks to joint secretaries and from technical roles like engineers and doctors. Out of the 450,000 participants, only 15,000 secure jobs every year. The private sector has seen limited growth in employment. According to the Federation of Nepal Industry and Commerce, only around 5,000 educated workers are employed each year in sectors like hotels, banking, and tourism. With this, providing employment to youth with higher education has become a major challenge.
म चाहिँ कसरी बुझ्छु भने हामीले हाम्रो मान्छेहरूलाई दीक्षा नै दिन सकेनौं. दीक्षा चाहिँ यहाँ सम्भावना यसरी छ, यहाँ सम्भावना यसरी छ.
सामान्य कोरा शिक्षा लिएर अहिलेको बजारमा प्रवेश गर्न गाह्रो छ. अहिलेको बजारले सिप खोजिरहेको हुन्छ, स्किल चाहिन्छ. त्यो स्किल नभइकन सर्टिफिकेटले मात्रै पनि रोजगारी पाउँदैन.
With limited job opportunities, many higher education graduates are taking foreign language classes in hopes of foreign employment. The number of people heading to Gulf countries and Korea is rising. However, they often find jobs that don't even match their qualifications. The National Planning Commission has highlighted the graduates with higher education are facing challenges due to a mismatch between the curriculum and global job market demands. However, the academic curriculum is not scientific and competitive. The issue of educational unemployment won't be resolved until technical manpower is developed that can compete in the global market.
In our Public Voice segment today, we have asked fresh graduates about their future plans. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
अबको योजना लोकसेवा आयोग
हामीले एकचोटी सबैजना मिलेर चाहिँ नि यही स्ट्रगल गर्दियौं.
मास्टर्स गर्छु, जब गर्दै छु, जब गर्दै मास्टर्स गर्छु. अब
नेपालमा बसेर केही गर्न सक्ने अवस्था छैन. म पनि बाहिर जाने प्रयास गर्दै छु.
अप्सनहरु छ है, दुई तीनवटा अप्सनहरु माइन्डमा छ. अब हेरौं के हुन्छ.
नौ तहमा चाहिँ फाइट गरेर नाम निकालेर नेपालमै सर्भिस गर्ने.
देशमै अपर्च्युनिटी पायो भने चाहिँ अब यही गर्ने हैन.
अहिले पनि लोकसेवामै हो. अब अझै 7औं तह 8औं तहमा चाहिँ जाने.
म चाहिँ अहिले बाहिरै जानुपर्ने, विदेशै जानुपर्ने भन्ने पनि होइन. आफ्नै फिल्डमा चाहिँ अब यही केही गर्न पर्छ, गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ मानसिकता चाहिँ हो.
क्वालिफिकेसन अनुसार केही गरे हुन्न नेपालमा जस्तो लाग्छ. बेला बेला विदेशमा जाउँ जस्तो लाग्छ. अब फर्दर योजना चाहिँ त्यही लोकसेवा आयोगमा अब एक्जाम चाहिँ दिने हो.
केही गर्नु पर्ला नेपालमै, के गर्न सकिन्छ हेरौं.
The tendency of not carrying out legislative work has been seen in provinces resembling federal parliament due to the fact that some laws have been made by the union. The provincial governments which are in trouble do not even seem to doing the work with their jurisdiction. The Kosi province government has not prepared to call the 6th session after ending the 5th session on September 21st. The Madhya province government has not discussed the issue of convening the winter session as there is confusion about the bills to be presented in the provincial assembly. The Bagmati province government has so far submitted 86 bills with amendments to the parliament, and with 2 withdrawn, 84 bills have become legal. The Bagmati government, which ended the 4th session on 3rd of October, has not announced to call another session yet. There are only 3 bills under discussion in the Gandaki Province Assembly, and these bills are being discussed in the subject committee. The government is not ready to start the session that ended on 23rd of September. The government says that the State Assembly, which has passed 71 bills so far, will start preparing more bills at the end of this month. The Lumbini state government concluded the 4th session on 16th of September. The provincial government is starting the winter session on 31st of December after 3.5 months. The Karnali province government ended the budget session on 1st of October. There seems no rush to call the winter session. Currently, 3 bills are under discussion in the subject committee, while 3 bills have been registered in the provincial assembly. The budget session in the Sudur Paschim Provincial Assembly ended on 22nd of September. The Provincial Assembly is in a state of non-business. The government has said it is preparing to call a meeting this last week. It is time now for a short break. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. It is time for international news. The body of Manmohan Singh, the former Indian Prime Minister, whose death has sparked outpourings of grief at home and abroad, was cremated on Saturday on the banks of the Yamuna River in New Delhi with full state honors. The funeral was conducted in the Sikh tradition as priests chanted hymns after Singh's body, draped in the Indian flag, was carried through the capital on a flower-decked carriage pulled by a ceremonial army truck. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi accompanied Singh's family on the truck to the Nigambod Ghat cremation site after the procession from party headquarters in New Delhi, where people joined Congress party leaders and members to pay their last respects. Singh's body was covered with a saffron cloth before it was placed on the pyre at a crematorium. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who called Singh one of the nation's most distinguished leaders after his death, attended the funeral along with President Draupadi Murmu and representatives of various countries. Modi's government has decided to allocate land for Singh's memorial. Now, November 2024 saw notable development on the global stage. In the US, election outcomes sparked widespread debate on future policies, while Europe focused on tackling economic pressures from inflation. Tensions in South China Sea escalated, and the Middle East saw increased diplomatic efforts ongoing conflicts. Climate change took center stage as countries made stronger pledges ahead of international summits. Here's a look into the month of November 2024.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky sounded the alarm on November 4. There were 11,000 North Korean military personnel operating in Russia's Kursk region. He added that the response from Ukraine's partners had not increased, despite allegedly more numbers of North Koreans aiding Russian troops in the ongoing conflict. Donald Trump was elected the President of the United States of America after Americans went to polls on November 5, capping a remarkable comeback 4 years after he was voted out of the White House. Trump beat Vice President Kamala Harris in both the popular vote and the Electoral College, while also winning the Senate and House.
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good.
President-elect Donald Trump returned to the White House on November 13 for the first time since winning the U.S. presidential election and sat down for cordial talks about the looming transfer of power with longtime political rival President Joe Biden. In a significant reversal of Washington's policy in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, Biden allowed Ukraine to use U.S.-made weapons to strike deep into Russia. The U.S. vetoed a UN Security Council resolution for a ceasefire in Gaza, drawing criticism of the Biden administration for once again blocking international action aimed at halting Israel's war with Hamas. On November 20, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former defense chief, as well as a Hamas leader, for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. On November 21, a new kind of Russian missile carrying 6 warheads struck Dnipro, Ukraine. Known as Oreshnik, the missile was hypersonic and could not be intercepted according to Russia. But experts note that all ballistic missiles of that range are hypersonic and that missile interceptors such as Israel's Arrow 3 and the US SM-3 Block 2A were designed to destroy them. Spain earmarked 10.6 billion euros, equivalent to $11.55 billion in loans and grants to help the victims of flash floods that hit the eastern coast of the country around Valencia. Thousands of protesters filled the streets of Valencia on November 9 to demand accountability for the regional government's handling of catastrophic floods that had claimed the lives of more than 220 people. At COP29 in Azerbaijani capital Baku, countries agreed on November 24 to an annual finance target of $300 billion to help poor countries deal with the impacts of climate change, with rich countries leading the payments, according to a hard-fought deal clinched at the conference. The new goal is intended to replace developed countries' previous commitment to provide $100 billion per year in climate finance for poorer countries by the year 2020. That goal was met 2 years late in 2022 and expires in 2025. US President Joe Biden announced a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah set for November 27 after both sides accepted an agreement brokered by the US and France.
Effective at 4 a.m. tomorrow local time, the fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end. Will end.
We have more news coming up, but right now it is time for yet another short break. It's time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at yesterday's poll. Yesterday we had asked you, why has the current government formed mechanisms and task forces one after the other instead of focusing on its responsibilities? 14% voted for A, to show results, 55% voted for B, consequences of not being able to work, and 31% voted for C, mistrust with alliances. And here's today's question. What is your take on the Nepal Olympic Committee holding election against the Supreme Court's order? Your options are A, contempt of court, B, defiant leadership, or C, election follows IOC's charter. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, Jeevan Ram Shrestha has been elected as the president of Nepal Olympic Committee for the third term. Although the Supreme Court issued an interim order and ordered not to hold an election, Jeevan Ram became the chair in the online election. There are a total of 27 members in the Olympic, of which Jeevan Ram got 20 votes. Nilendra Raj Shrestha and Tej Bahadur Gurung also registered their candidacy for the post. 7 people, including Nilendra, objected to the election process and boycotted the election. Gurung couldn't even get a single vote. National Sports Council (NSC) instructed the sports associations not to participate in the election of the Nepal Olympic Committee (NOC) by sending a letter to comply with the interim order issued by the Supreme Court. However, 20 sports associations participated in the elections. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.